Okay, what up, y'all? So, another episode of me yapping. I'ma just get straight to it. This movie sucks. Like, twas not good. So, this is a review of the movie The Prodigy. I believe it came out early 2019, late 2018, I can't remember. It was just on my list of stuff to watch because I love watching movies. I'm gonna give it a 2. Gotta give it a 2. No 2 point nothing. No redeeming factors. Started off ambitious, but I got nothing. So, customary, either not even a thriller, suspense type wannabe horror flick. I didn't even really know what they were trying to accomplish. So, movie starts off, dark scene, of course. It starts off very dark, and it stays very dark. This is actually a redeeming factor. It doesn't redeem it, but the movie is filmed very dimly. It adds to the spooky undertones. I forget which one applies in this situation, but it adds to the spooky. So the movie starts, dark night. Young lady is, well, you don't know it's a young lady. You just see a hand busting out of a door. And you're like, what the crap's going on here? All right. This is starting off good. This is already getting to the action. So this hand breaks through a door, some type of cabin type door, house door. It's very weak. It's very thin. She breaks through it. And then she's running off into the night. This scene leads to a car with another vehicle, or I'm sorry, a vehicle driving down the road. Of course, she runs out into the road. The vehicle swerves. The person driving the vehicle, also another lady, stops to try to give her assistance. And by this time, the injured woman who was running for her life has made her way to the side of the vehicle, and she's screaming, "He took my hand, he took my hand." She holds up her right hand. She holds up her right area, because ain't no hand there. Shoop, it's gone. So, you okay? You're like, this is starting off all right. It's pretty solid. You got some guy that's chopping hands off. And then it cuts to a gentleman laying asleep in his bed. The family dog, puppy, is like looking at his hands, trying to wake him up. He's shooing the dog, like, get away from me. Turns out the dog's trying to get his attention because his wife's in the bathroom breathing heavily. She's 9 months pregnant, 8 something, some change pregnant, and she's about to give birth. So the guy gets up, freaking out, "Hey, the baby's coming early, blah blah blah." And he's doing the customary dad run back and forth, go out the house, come back because he forgot the keys, and he's telling her it's going to be okay and all this other stuff. She's like, "Yeah, you forgot the keys." So that happens. We fade back to a team of SWAT or FBI, not sure. But obviously the young lady was able to instruct them or lead them to where the bad guy was that had abducted her or otherwise. And you see a blinking device, some type of surveillance device in his yard. A light goes off in his lair that lets him know that the fuzz are outside. The cops are coming to get me. So he is like, what's going on here? Something must have happened. So he goes to an area in his house that is chained and locked and sees that it has been opened. Like, he knows his victim has escaped, and he loses his mind. He freaking screams, yells out, and then it fades to the wife, of course, breathing. And I mean, this is like extreme foreshadowing. Like, they do kind of give the audience justice to saying that I hope you guys can put 2 and 2 together. So somehow the guy gets naked, the adult man, the bad guy he's out in his birthday suit. I mean, he's just running towards the cops, and they're like, "Oh, he's got something in his hand," and he aims at him like he's gonna shoot. It's the lady's hand. He's got her hand in his hand. Oh, nice little bug. And of course the cops thought it was a weapon. They lace him up real quick. He's got a number of bullet wounds in his torso, chest area, and then the baby's born as he dies. And then the afterbirth, or placenta, whatever, baby goo, is the exact same shape and pattern of the guy's bullet wounds on the newborn infant. So, I mean, you kind of figure it out that he's being reborn as he dies. But they don't give you any other explanation. They don't say he's a cult. They don't say he's a freaking devil worshiper or some kind of whatever. He's just reborn in, sorry, had to focus. So he's just reborn inside this freaking kid. And you're like, all right, whatever. And then they go through the various stages of the child's life. Sorry if I'm yelling. But so they cut to what was it, 20 weeks? 4 days or some crap like that. He's at the doctor. Doctor pulls out a massive needle. It looks like a big pin. We're like, what you about to shank this kid with? So he pulls out this needle, gives the kid an injection, inoculation vaccine or whatever, because vaccines are good. And the mom's asking, hey, isn't he supposed to cry? Baby didn't peep, didn't cry, didn't do nothing. Oh, sorry, I forgot. While she was in the doctor's waiting area, another mother looked over and noticed that her child had some interesting characteristics about him. He has heterochromia, one blue eye, one hazel eye, two different two eyes, both eyes, one of different colors. God, I wish I could talk some days. And it was just something they pointed out. So the doctor, fade back to the doctor with the with the freaking basting needle, giving the injection. She's like, hey, there's nothing. The doctor, he's a male doctor, sorry. He says there's nothing wrong with the child. The mom's freaking out. You have no need to worry. You can relax. And then she goes, well, he's already saying words like mommy. And he's like, yo, that's awesome. He's like a prodigy. Dun dun dun. You get the name of the movie in the movie. Awesome. So basically he's like, usually that type of speech doesn't come so early, but it's been known to happen, and there are special schools for this. And of course they go back to another phase in the child's life where the mom's like, hey, maybe we should put the kid in preschool. Dad's like, what are you talking about? He's too young for preschool. And she's doing all this research, as moms do, of course, because they like to feel informed about things and junk and stuff. Who doesn't? And she's basically trying to find a place for her child. So fade to 5 years, 5 months, I think. The kid is just displaying more aptitude than he should for his age, because obviously, you know, he is possessed or incumbent with this other guy's body, soul, spirit, whatever. And the mom is none the wiser to any of this, but he is displaying incredible knowledge, and he's more developed in certain areas than he is in others. He's very antisocial, but he's also very smart. So now we're jumped up to, I want to say 8. Most of the movie stays around 8 years old. So he's 8 years old. The mother has now been referred to another specialist from a friend of hers, because the kid and all of his great knowledge is just sitting around the house. He falls asleep, and then he starts mumbling in another language, and you're like, okay, is this demon worship? What is this guy chanting? Well, you don't know what the language is. So the mom happens to record it, and she's like, hey, you were having a bad dream. And he goes, no, I wasn't. I was having a good dream. And you're like, oh, it's about to get busy. He's going nuts. The guy's resurfacing. So the kid goes to school, in his special school with all the other smart children, because there are obviously other smart children. And he wants to be science partners or some type of lab partner with a young girl. But she already has a partner. He walks up and is like, hey, I want her as my partner. Her partner goes, nah, we already made our decision. And then the kid, the bad kid, I'm sorry, who was only recognizable by the fact that he played Georgie in It, the new rendition of It. I don't know what other stuff he's been in. And my freaking microphone stuff's falling out. It's pulling on my ear holes. I really don't like it. So he's Georgie from It. Okay, so he has now raised his hand to go to the restroom. But instead of going to the restroom, he goes to the maintenance closet and gets a monkey wrench. He comes back and beats the snot out of this kid with a monkey wrench. And then, boom, next scene, he's in the psychologist's office. Psychiatrist. One of them uses pharmacology. One of them uses holistic treatment, as in behavioral changes. I forget. So, he's taking the Rorschach test, the ink blot test. What do you see? He's like, I don't know. I don't see nothing. I don't remember what happened in school. So basically, he blacks out, and then the bad guy takes over and does stuff. That's what you assume. So, he's like, I don't know what happened. The mom has now placed in some dilemma where she has to take her kid out of school. He had to be reassigned, and then she's recommended to the other doctor, who's played by Fiore, I believe. He was the main bad guy in Chronicles of Riddick. He's been in a lot of other things, but he only sticks out a little bit. Of course, I'll stick a picture up as I always do because sometimes I don't remember everybody's names. He's Peter Jacobson, the doctor in the movie. He's explaining to her that, hey, your kid's special. He may be experiencing reincarnation. Only the Western cultures really kind of ignore this. A lot of Eastern cultures believe in it. And he was given various examples of children in India and being able to describe their past lives and where they were growing up and all this other kind of stuff. So she takes that to heart. This car, very dangerous to park on the shoulders, folks, because cars will get target fixation just like motorcyclists will, because they're controlled by people. People get target fixation. And that car almost drifted into that only thing on the shoulder, which was a stopped vehicle. Anyway, safety note. So the doctor has explained to her he can experience reincarnation, and he wanted to bring in the son for an examination. She goes home with the research, tells the dad. Dad's like, are you nuts? Like, get out of here with all this crap. He's just a special kid, and we're just going to have to give him a freaking special school. Like, he's fine. Dad is kind of wrong. So nothing sinister has really happened to this point. And you're like, all right, come on, guys. Give me something. Give me something. So the kid is now back in another school. How he got into any school. I mean, the monkey wrench was like man style. Like, it wasn't just a little vice grip or a freaking channel lock. It was a monkey wrench. Should have been called a gorilla wrench. And he just wailed on this kid. So he should be expelled from the planet. So he's back in school in what seems to be a normal elementary school, just sitting there. The teacher's teaching his lesson. He's just chilling, head on his desk, drawing pictures of hands. So now comes into play the freaking bad guy's fascination with hands. Don't know why, they don't explain it. Another weak point of the movie. So the kid's just drawing hands, and then it fades to him sharpening a massive set of shears in the garage or in the basement somewhere. And then all of a sudden, the next scene is the mom and the kid playing a staring game. Oh God, I can't believe I forgot this. In the beginning of the movie, when he first became 8 years old, him and the mom played a staring game. They would stare into each other's eyes, and it was very playful, very jovial. And she would blink, and then the kid would blink, and they would laugh it off, and then she went off and they had date night. Well, she left the kid at home with the babysitter. Babysitter's name was Zoe. Him and Zoe were playing hide and seek. It was time for him to go to bed. She's like, hey, we can play hide and seek. And she counts to 10, covers her eyes, and she takes her hand off, and he didn't move. He's just sitting there, like, staring at her, not saying a word. So obviously the bad guy has checked in at this point. Sorry for all my ums, but I have to recall all this crap, and that's my only mental time saver. So she's like, you need more time? He says yes. So she counts to 20, covers her eyes, he takes off, unscrews the light bulb, and then the next thing you see is her open her eyes. He's gone. She's looking for him. She goes and opens the basement door. Why? Because every horror movie, scary movie, has to have some idiot that opens the basement door. So she opens the basement door, doesn't even look. Who doesn't look where they're stepping down? I've never seen this before. I don't even do this at home. When I'm walking downstairs, I look where I'm going. So she steps down, immediately gets freaking shanked in the foot with a shard of glass from a broken bottle that he placed on the stairs for her to step on. She's walking around the house barefoot, ill-advised anyway, because people's floors are dirty, and that's just freaking gross. So she steps down on a shard of glass. She didn't die. He didn't do anything else to her. But it fades back to him explaining to his mom, hey, I black out and I don't remember what happened, and I'm pretty sure she never babysat for him again. So fast forward back to my other statement when I was saying they were playing the staring game. This time the staring game is slightly more sinister. He's staring at her. He's humming a song that he said that she taught him when he was a baby. She's like, I never taught you that song ever. I would remember. I'm your mom. I don't even know that song. So he's humming, and it's like lightly rubbing her finger, and then he starts to caress her finger, which is completely different. And he's staring at her, not blinking at all. And she's like, yeah, I'm done. So she snatches her hand, and it's like, yeah, you don't touch me like that. It's weird. I'm gonna go and chill out. Oh, Popo's is aiming. So I'm gonna go and chill out and let you guys finish dinner. She left the dad and the son down there. Dad's like, yo, what's up? She's like, I just gotta get out of here. So now it's the next day, and the father is come home watching the child play video games. He's chilling out, killing folks on Call of Duty, as you should. I think it's Call of Duty, whatever, it's a video game. And he's like, hey, come help me find a dog. He's not listening, straight up ignoring him. He's like, hey, come help me find a dog. So he walks up, shuts the TV off, and then proceeds to make the kid come help him. The kid gets in the car. He's like, the dog probably got hit by a car. Dad's like, why would you say that? Because dogs like to die alone. When they know they're going to die, they either crawl up under a house or they just walk off because they like to die alone. And then he's like, what the like, okay, kid, whatever. And then he's like, where are you getting this from? He's like, I don't know. Just feel like that's what's going to happen. He's like, man, you need to get yourself together. It's like, why? You gonna do me like your dad did you? And then he's like, what? How do you know all of this stuff? Like, because the dad's the father of the bad guy kid, the Prodigy, was abusive. So the kid knows all of this history, and the dad's like, how do you know this? So he flips out. They go back home. The dad is venting to the mom that the kid is talking way too much information that he should know. Sorry, this little junction here makes me super nervous. And he's trying to figure out why. So the dad happens to look over. The kid has repurposed his baby monitor surveillance camera into a spy cam. It's attached to a picture in the parents' bedroom, and he's basically been spying on them, which is freaking crazy. This kid is 8 years old, remember that. So he has re-engineered a baby monitor, took it apart, ran some circuit board stuff to it, and he's spying on the parents. So the dad flips out, goes to the kid's room, snapping off, as he should. Mom still kind of doesn't get that there's a problem. Like, Mom, really? An 8-year-old has repurposed the baby monitor. Your dog is missing. He's saying all kind of crazy stuff. He beat a kid with a monkey wrench. They're playing on the weakness of mothers. I get it. But I know quite a few moms that would have been like, yep, you out of here, kid. So anyway, the mom kicks the dad out, of course. Or the dad kind of leaves. He just goes to stay with his brother. And then the kid's like, can I sleep with you tonight? After the mom has a crazy experience. So she walks down the hallway. The family dog is guarding the kid's door, you think, but the dog is actually kind of nervous. And she walks up to it, and she's like shooing the dog out of the way. Dog won't move. But use your blinker if you're getting over, lady. So the dog won't move, and the lady is like, what is going on? So the kid's out in the hallway. She's like, well, Mom, can I sleep with you, or I need a hug or some crap? I can't remember what he said. So he's walking towards her, and then he runs up to her, and the shadow of the kid becomes the image of the adult male, which is freaking spooky. That was one of the spookiest parts of the movie. And then she wakes up like, oh my God, it was a dream. Well, then she goes to see the actual kid, and the kid asked to sleep with her, and basically said, hey, Mom, would you love me no matter what type deal. Now, mind you, the mom has already had experiences with this kid on a whole nother level. So she has freaking seen the kid sitting in his chair solving a Rubik's Cube, spinning back and forth. She saw his face, and then she turned around, and then she saw the face of the bad guy, the adult killer. But this is like a one-off, and she kind of ignored it because she thought she was losing her mind. So now the kid has effectively said, hey, can I sleep with you? And she said yes. They lay down. He puts his arm around her and kind of lays it on her shoulder, and she gives him the, hey, I'll always love you, I'm your mother talk. Whatever. And please don't kill me. Thank you. And they kind of just fade off to sleep, and all of a sudden you see a fly. And then you see a couple more flies. And then you see a crap ton of flies, like way more flies than you would ever see in any normal situation. And the mom gets up to investigate. Of course, if you have any common sense, you already know it's the freaking dog. Or something he's killed. But you know it's the dog. Dog hasn't been seen in days. She goes downstairs to investigate where the flies are coming from. They're coming from the basement. They're coming from an area located right next to the workbench where he was sharpening the giant shears. She goes to bend down. and look at the area that is now boarded up. So she's trying to pull the boards out, and then the kid walks up behind her silently with a freaking hammer, a claw hammer. And I'm like, oh boy, she about to get it. He hands her the hammer and says, hey, you should try this. And she turns around. I mean, it's your fault, dude. You're riding the dude's ass too close. So she turns around in fear of her life, obviously. And was like looking at the kid like, oh, thank God he hit me in the face with his hammer. So she pries the board off. Dog falls out. No paws. And the shears that he used to kill the dog killed. Good Lord. Oh, my grammar teacher, you hear me now. The shears fall out, the dog falls out, and then she looks at the kid like, we're gonna go get you some help. Are you serious? Nah. Like, I love my daughter, but if she ever did something like that, I'm moving out. I'm taking her mama, she can have a house. I'm taking the dog, the turtles, the goldfish. I'm good. Ain't no help for that. So, she goes, I'm gonna get you some help. So she ends up taking him to Dr. Peter Jacobson, the reincarnation guy. So she takes her son, and the doctor's like, well, I'm gonna hypnotize him. And she goes, was this gonna hurt? Like, lady, no, hypnotism never hurts. It's not painful. You don't even touch the person. So he hypnotizes the kid. She stays outside because, of course, the parent can never be in the room while the kid's getting hypnotized. And he tries to bring forth the entity which has possessed her son. And the guy pops out and is like, yo, I'm here. And if you know what's good for you, you're going to tell the mama there's nothing wrong. And he's like, nah, I need you to tell me who you are and where you're from. And he starts speaking in Ukraine. And the guy's like, you speak Ukrainian? He goes, no, I only learned a couple words just so I can make sure you were you. And I'm like, oh, that's kind of cool. I can dig that. He tried to trick the bad guy spirit, which he did. Bad guy goes, okay, well, the thing that sucks about this situation is the mom, my mom, would probably freak out if she found out that I took that medicine in your cabinet. He goes, all that medicine's legal. He's like, yeah, but not if you give it to an 8-year-old. He goes, you took my medicine? He goes, yep. And while I was in your bathroom, I also strategically placed the pubic hair that I found on your toilet within my teeth. And it would be horrible if I told my mom I fell asleep and I woke up with your penis in my mouth. Which he didn't say penis, he said a much more descriptive word for a male chicken. And I was like, wow, this dude is legit. So basically the next scene is the doctor going out going, hey, sorry, couldn't do nothing for your kid, there's nothing wrong with him. Ah, man, this dude is playing everybody. But once that session is over, yield to no one. Once that session is over, the mom gets a call at like 4 a.m. The doctor has called her on the sly and said, hey, I need you to hit your computer up and look up this guy's name. Somehow the child, Miles, which is his name, was able to scratch the name of the bad guy into the leather surface of the couch when the bad guy was taken over, which was pretty cool. You don't notice it till the doctor sees it later. So the kid scratched the name, the guy looked him up, called the mom, told her to look up the bad guy. She looks him up, finds out he's a murderer, and why are we sitting here? Finds out he's a murderer, and he was killed the night that her son was born. Her son was born at 4:15. He died a little bit before or after 4 a.m. So she's running all the stuff together. She's believing the doctor's theories about reincarnation. And then while she's down on the phone, she hears a noise. She thinks it's the kid walking up behind her, but it's actually her husband, who is now allowed to sleep back in the house because whatever reason. He showed up one day and basically talked about them getting back together and some other crap going on. He comes downstairs and she's like, we got to do something about Miles, but we can't let him know because he's a master manipulator. So she makes him a sandwich, sends him off to school, and the dad goes to pick him up from school. She's like, just wait an hour, go get him, take him to this place, and then we'll guess freaking pollen or something, and then we'll deal with it later. She finds out while she's packing up Miles' clothes for his little adventure away from home, wherever she's going to take him, that he's got a copy of a book written by the survivor of the murderer. The girl with no hand in the beginning of the movie wrote a book about her experience, and they're trying to figure out why the spirit returned. Well, apparently the spirit returned because it was trying to kill her, which is super freaking crazy. So this guy has returned to kill this lady, And yeah, that's his whole reason for existing. So you think. So the mom ends up finding out all this information within, I don't know, 10 minutes of the movie ending. She looks up the lady's address. She thinks that if she does something, talk to the lady or whatever, they're going to fix the situation. So the mom ends up trying to track this lady down, which she does successfully. And then the dad picks up the kid from school. He goes, Miles, I need you to come with me. Kid doesn't listen. School teacher's like, hey, you need to sign him out in the office. The dad says, hey, the kid's already signed out. The mom called ahead. We're good to go. I'm like, all right, what's about to happen here? So, ends up, the dad snatches the kid out of school. Ends up getting all sappy on him. Basically said, hey, man, we're trying to help you out. We're going to do something for you. We're going to take you somewhere. The mom said, do not tell him. He's driving away on the worst green screen ever. Like, the trees look horrible. It's so fake. And then all of a sudden, the seatbelt unsnaps from the dad, and then the kid's like staring at him, and the dad turns around and look in the back seat. He's got another pair of shears, and he shanks the dad right in the rib cage. Car crashes, of course. They end up in the hospital. Dad's incapacitated, jacked up. Mom goes to the hospital, finds the kid. It's like, okay, I'm gonna take you somewhere. Grabs the kid, tells him, hey, remember that motion sickness medicine I used to give you? I need you to take this because it makes you sleepy and I can't trust you. Kid's like, all right, I'll take the medicine. She takes the medicine. You fade to the front seat. You see she has a freaking hand cannon and a box of bullets. Like, okay, what's going on here? She takes the kid to the place where, my dudes are like, what are you doing? I'm like, I'm talking to my YouTube friend. Shut up. So she takes the kid to the place where the lady lives that was the previous victim. She asked the lady, could she come into her house? She had an experience, and her book helped her out. She wanted to talk to her about it. The lady says, I really don't see people at my house, but you can go ahead and come in. You know, and she starts telling her about her kids and all this stuff. So the mom had no idea that she had a child, so she starts having all these regrets. I'm like, she was going to go kill the lady so that the spirit will leave her son's body. I'm like, what kind of crazy twist is this? So the lady makes her some tea. She starts having second thoughts. Runs in the bathroom, gets sick, throws up. She's trying to load this gun. It's like the worst weapon handling I've ever seen. Like, so how she didn't shoot herself in the palm, I have no idea. So they run. She runs out into the kitchen, points the gun at the previous victim, and then loses it. And is like, I can't do this. The victim's like, what is happening here? And she got the claw now. It's like, me. So the door is open now. Of course, you can assume that the child's in the house. And then he looks at her, she looks down, and he goes, which one do you like? Blue or hazel? And he's got a massive steak knife. And she's like, oh no, that's the same thing that the guy said to me the night I was captured. And he goes, yep, shank. What is happening? So the mom yells out, Miles! And then she tries to run over there and get her 8-year-old son off of this lady. He's 8. Flick him across the room. So she can't pull her son off. The lady goes to swing at the son. Her hook hand hits the mom. Mom falls to the floor. Miles stabs her and just straight lines it across her belly, eviscerating her. She's done. And then the mom's just laying there. Miles runs off. Okay. Not really understanding what's going on here. So she chases Miles out into the woods. Miles is sitting, staring off into space, and she thinks the spirit's gone. And the guy turns around and is basically like, nah, lady, your son been gone. I've been lying to you this whole time. Which is freaking crazy. It was a one twist that I kind of did enjoy. So he was faking like he was the kid the whole time, which is kind of neat. So she is like, all right, well, you took my son's soul. You can't have his body. I'm about to shoot you. She lifts up the hand cannon. Gun goes off. Kid falls to the ground. Then the next thing you see is her laying on the ground bleeding. I'm like, how did he shoot her? Didn't. A random hunter. Oh, there's Spider. He says hello. Random hunter in the woods shot the mom. She lies there bleeding to death. He runs to the hunter and thanks him for saving him. She was going to kill me. He is then placed with a foster home and then is escorted to another house. And the lady's standing there like, hey, welcome to your new house. Can I show you to your room? And then she extends her hand in greeting. And he stares at her hands. Movie ends. What's going on, sir? Oh, I don't know. I'm just visiting. Yes, sir. So yeah, that's the end of the movie. Yeah, no problem. I'm like, what? They set it up for like some kind of weak sequel, but it was bad. So we are getting ready to go on another food run. So let me stop yapping here, and I will catch you guys on the flip. See you later.